Okay, so thank you so much, Serge, for your wonderful presentation. And as you can imagine, a project of that scale, of that complications, is going to require extensive communications and a lot of meetings, right? So including a lot of people that's here present, including the project members, can I have a show of hands for those who came here from an unnecessarily long meeting this week or sometimes in this month, right? Where seemingly solvable issues are still left unresolved and people are still left confused. Or worse, you do reach a decision somehow, but you really agreed just because you are too worn out to argue otherwise. And this is why I'm here today, to tell you that like a project like Boss Agora or any other groups or organization that requires collective decision making don't have to go through the frustrations of how group communications will be and still make good decisions together. Because as everyone here knows, decision making is not just frustrating, but if you don't get it right, then you'll end up with bad decisions, and that's going to be very expensive for you. So remember that leading camera company that chose to miss a massive market opportunity of digital camera that it developed itself? Well, it's not so established anymore. Or that fashion brand thinking that it was a really good idea to mock its biggest customer base with a racist marketing campaign, and now is still trying to cope with the sale losses because they got banned from selling in China. So despite all these people involved, all the meetings they probably had, the times and resources spent together, why do these terrible decisions continue to happen? And because that decision isn't like unlucky natural disaster. There are actively human-created problems that can and should be solved. And so we decided to get to the bottom of this because we thought we should make it our mission to solve this problem that affects everyone. So we were able to realize that behind every terrible decision, that there was exclusion, that stakeholders who know the field knowledge or are most often directly impacted by the decision reached don't really get to say and speak up in the decisions that's made. And that's due to power dynamics, social and peer pressure, or biases, or all of them together at once. We are always wary of how we'll be judged for what we say by other people. Will my boss think I'm stupid? Will my friends think I'm weird? Will I create a conflict by saying this topic? And of course, we judge other people too, all the time. And so we don't really listen to what they say. We really care more about their age, their gender, their social positions than the opinions that they actually have. And so naturally we are left without a full or accurate picture of what's happening, and therefore we really can't come up with a really accurate solution. And so that leads to very disappointing and unrepresentative outcomes. Also, group decisions today are tragically inefficient. Even when people are included, without skilled facilitation or moderation, the meeting becomes very often this endless loop of ever-diverging, repetitive opinions that fails to progress, right? We've all experienced those meetings where you just sit there confused. What am I doing here? What's that person talking so much? What's going to happen next? What is the objective of this meeting? And even somehow, if miraculously a decision was reached, people forget. And you have to start all over again. Sounds familiar? If not, you're very, very lucky people. So we decided to devise a solution for this situation because empowering people to make collective decisions together is the best way we knew how to better the world, and it's something that really affects everyone. So first and foremost, we thought inclusivity was the key. We created a concept of voice, which is used to make contribution. So and they are distributed equally in a limited capacity to all. So no one can just speak above other people and everyone will get a chance. So if I get 10 times to speak, then you get 10 times and you get 10 times too. And by making opportunity to participate something of a scarce resource, we can expect people to use it rationally. Before you open your mouth to just say and talk for the sake of talking, you have to really think now. do I really want to say this above other things that I can say? Or is this the best ways to phrase what I want to say and I don't have to repeat my opinion so other people can understand? And at the same time, we acknowledge that equality is good, but not everyone has to speak exactly the same number of times. Sometimes people will have more to contribute depending on the topic. And for this, members can delegate their voice to the people who they think best represents their interests or is the most constructive. And by this, everyone gets the opportunity to shape how the dialogue is going to take place. We experimented this concept of voice, something that's equal, limited, and delegatable, to our own company weekly meeting. And as a result, we're able to see that the meeting time was reduced by half on average, while having more diverse members speaking up, because previously we only had 2 or 3 people just like talking all the time. And also, we were able to deal with the same number of agendas that we had before. Imagine your meetings half the time, but equally productive. But we don't want same productivity. We want better productivity in your meetings. And that is why we decided to introduce this concept of anonymous option, because we think to increase the productivity of a meeting, then you need some more new diverse opinions, an outside the box type of opinions, which can come when things like groupthinks or peer pressure or power dynamics are removed. And we think anonymity is the best way to do that. So, because it's not that we don't have opinions or we're not given the opportunity to speak, but more that we self-censor ourselves. In a room with very overly passionate people who really like their own voice, you would rather stay silent than being attacked on. But if people were anonymous, how do you know that their person is a really eligible member to be able to participate in the topic that you're discussing? And this is where our technology comes in. Of using our patented AAID, we fully check your eligibility while protecting your privacy at the same time. So you can feel secure about speaking up your mind, and we can actually enable open and honest dialogues. To give a brief example of how effective anonymity is in speaking in a group, I would like to again share an example of our company. We made a room for our testing app called Radical Candor for Kibong, and Kibong is my boss sitting there. And we can give direct feedback to our CEO anonymously. And after this was open, we had very, very interesting responses. We had 1,000-word essay describing how his management could be improved, to a very brief but direct comment of, when you compliment, could you specify why you think so? And if you can't, don't compliment for the sake of it, because it feels very patronizing. And everyone who heard it was, oh, yes, that's true, but I could never really say that before. And it's not that it is something that is wrong, but it's sometimes very uncomfortable to say this in people's face, especially if that person is your boss, right? So, and we are different from other platforms who promises you that your privacy will be kept because they will try their best not to get hacked. Defora develops our own system even when we cannot keep track of your digital footprints using our authenticated anonymous identity. Authenticated Anonymous Identity, or AAID for short, because it's a bit of a mouthful, is a unique system that allows the benefits of both anonymity and authentication at the same time. So here we gave you a brief diagram of how it works. The user gives Defora data to prove their eligibility to participate. It could be your mobile number or your company email address. And once verified, we issue a key that is held only by you in your local device. Utilizing homomorphic encryption, the key is used to generate a one-time permit for each of the activities on the platform. And because we compute directly on encrypted data, despite Defora doing the work for you, we don't know really anything about you, except for the fact that you are eligible. And this means that all of your activities on Defora cannot be connected together or be traced back to you, and the only key that can is held by you only no third party, not even Defora. And with inclusivity in place, we moved on to designing an efficient way to save people time and frustration. We did so by creating a system that was flexible enough to reflect changing needs in real time, and that members would be clearly signposted so they know what to expect at what particular time. And lastly, all of the activities will be archived and made searchable to keep and enforce progresses in a transparent manner. And of course, they can be used as references for future solutions. To further explain how this works, we'll give you an example flow of a good decision making. So within your group, let's say your local community, your constituents, your classmates, or your employees, you can begin to identify issues of common interest. Like, what should be our goal for next year? And you can discuss it about what strategy should we take. Maybe we should diversify our portfolio. If so, which sectors should we go to? And there are many recommended options, so we can carry out our vote to see how everyone thinks. And even after reaching a decision, we can conduct a review to see how well the decision is playing out. What could have been improved? Let's discuss this. And we continuously are able to identify decisions and develop on our past decisions. And there are many other contexts that requires collective decisions. We don't know how everything will be. Even the people making the decisions don't know everything they want in advance. It may be a straightforward, a single discussion, and you're able to reach a consensus. But sometimes you would require multiple votes, multiple discussion, and multiple reviews. And so what we do is we let you choose the path as you walk them. So here, when you identify a topic of common interest, then you can choose the best fitting templates that you need for that specific time. It might be a vote to decide on a specific date, but then later the context might change and you need another vote or a different discussion to continue on. And after the events, you can review how things were, and discourse can be expanded into many areas endlessly, and people can still be able to keep a clear relationship and connections between the different decisions and the activities that happened. So, now that you learned the core main values and concept of Defora, let me guide you through how these actually play out on screens. So, this is our app, and when you enter, you are able to see a list of activities that you are involved in, or you can view the activities in terms of groups that you belong to. A group is a community of people that have common interests, whether it be your company, your apartment block that you live together, your school, or interest groups. Basically, any groups where you have collective decisions to make together. Each of the group will have collaborative activities. Anyone in the group can make an activity to engage other members. Here we have a fictional company called Korean Green Investments, and I am a member of its strategy team. We discuss all matters that requires input from all of the members, and from strategic key decisions to group event coordination. So let's try making one right now. Currently, we offer 3 templates that you can choose for your activity. You can pick whichever one you think best meets your needs, and we can start with the discussion, where it's for when you want your members to exchange opinions together. It can be used for ideation, brainstorming, suggestion box. Reviews can be used for evaluation, like product reviews or personal evaluation or surveys. And the vote is used for any issues where you need to pick one or multiple options out of multiple candidates. And of course, we can continuously update and add on new types of templates or features so we can actually have more diverse situations dealt with on Defora. So here I want to gather people's opinion for, let's say, the most suitable date for our team retreat. So I create a vote, enter in the relevant information so that people can know what they're actually doing, and I choose the settings for the type of the vote I want. Simple. And to see an already created activity, let's look at this discussion. So in this brainstorming session, people can give their opinions on the topic. The most recommended opinions becomes more visible, and the people can give their comments on it as well. You can see that this session is conducted anonymously, where you're represented with a random nickname. This is so that despite anonymity, people can still have a follow and refer to the communication happening. So it's based on the AAID explained before, where we create the unique one-time identity. So what this means is, for me participating in a different discussion, I will be given a different nickname, so that even within the same discussion, people can't make a link between a person who said this to a person who said that, despite them being a same person. And here, this is a screen where we can write your opinion or a comment, and you have to spend your voice. It's a token of how many times you can speak and contribute to the activity. And by making a voice limited resources, we can expect people to exercise it more effectively and limit trolling and keep the discussion focused. No more of those, oh, yesterday my cat, or let me clarify for the 5th time because I really like hearing my voice. So when a deadline is met and a discussion is closed, then we can see the top opinions and the popular keywords, so you can gain a very quick, effective, bird-eye sight towards how the discussion progressed. And here you can also make then a connected activity. So a lot of people gave a lot of good opinions, but we can't follow all of them. We have to prioritize. So why don't we make a vote? And we can make a connected vote, automatically pulling from the top opinions from the previous discussion, and they will be made into votable options. After viewing the candidates, people can select an option, or if there was an option that you really don't like, if you don't like any of the options, then you can add your own option. This is to give a channel for people to not be simply passive of saying yes or no or I don't know, but be able to give an active, better alternatives options that you think will better benefit the discussion. And once I voted, I can check my vote, but also view what other people think about each of the options that there were. And if I acquire new information that helps me to make better decisions, then at any time before the vote closes, I can change my vote to reflect my true choice. And understanding the full context of is crucial in better decision making. For this, you can connect related activities and view them in a thread. Through this, you can see the history of how activities evolved and access previous activities for references and gain better insights. Of course, you can continuously add on new ones to build up on the decisions you made before. And to do that, a review is a good way of template of gathering a lot of people's feedback or gain their opinions at a mass scale. From performance reviews to research surveys, they can all be conducted on Defora. And you can collect people's feedbacks after a decision and view them in much details. And you can view these details results, helping you to capture the group's opinion, empowering you to know your employees, your constituents, and your customers at scale. So by this point, you may be thinking, okay, the app looks cool, but why should I use it? And how is Defora different from existing collaborative software? And well, you should use it because everyone here has to make decisions together about work, your environment, your politics, education, and so much more. And so therefore, by using this platform, you'll be able to make better group decisions, minus all the hassles of gathering people at the same time. You'll have decisions based on greater information and perspective combined. For example, if someone pointed out that the marketing campaign was going to backfire big time and was able to speak out and be heard, the catastrophe mentioned in the introduction could have been avoided. And lastly, people can have better accountable commitments, and people can understand the decision that was made. It's not unilaterally just given to you, you have to do this, but you can see the steps and the logic behind how this decision was reached, and therefore you are able to accept it better. And at the end of the day, the people who have to live and implement this decision will be able to make better commitments. And of course, as people practice being able to speak up their mind in a safe zone, then we think people are able to develop and their ability to better express themselves and really pursue what they want. And of course, for Defora, we'll be able to collect your data and your actions so that we can continuously improve the features for your needs. And you may think that there are already a lot of apps that does this, but really, none could provide everything you need like Defora. Before, you couldn't enjoy the benefit of anonymity, which were freedom of speech and elimination of bias, while also having security and trust provided by authentication. You couldn't have facilitated discussions while also making sure that people had equality. Because for facilitation, you had to rely on facilitators who, while yes, made things a bit efficient, but exactly had more control and influence compared to other people. And messenger apps that we all use can be very, very helpful and can be used in all sorts of situations. But once it gets large, it becomes a mess. If you go into a lot of Telegram channels with over 500 people, then you really can't keep up with what's actually happening and you can never reach a decision there. Government petition boards, such as the Blue House in Korea, works for many people at the same time, but there is only a fixed use to it and you can't expand it in a different contexts. Basically, Defora enables you to enjoy all of these previously mutually exclusive benefits at the same time on a single platform. Plus, Defora is incentivized. You can directly interact with issues that affect your own life. For example, our company put up a discussion topic on Defora about the new layout for our office. It's not something a single person can unilaterally decide on or knows best about. Every member of COSAC actively engaged in giving their opinions of how they think the layout would be made, because it's a space that they spend 1/3 of their entire life, not life, their days in, I hope not life. But sometimes you may need opinions from those who are not directly affected by your decisions, right? And that's still very valuable for you. So Defora allows you to put up a reward system that incentivizes the people to participate in giving their opinions for your benefit. For example, if you want your customers' review on your product, then you can set up a topic with point rewards for participants. And the reward points can be purchased on our app or could be earned by helping us to improve, by giving us feedback or bringing more of your friends on board. So then, who can use Defora how? Defora is a freemium, so anyone can use Defora for their collective decision-making needs. There is nothing to pay to make activities when using our standard private groups. You can invite how many number of people you want. But there is also a subscription model where if you want to fine-tune your collective decision-making and access larger storages, this is an option that you can take. So if you just want to try out Defora to see if it really works, or you are a small personal group, then you can sign up for a private standard group and you can enjoy it and make unlimited number of activities. But if you're a larger company or a school that cannot really check your eligibility based on emails and you would want more different features, then you can sign up for our subscription model. But we also think that groups doesn't always have to be private. There are a lot of public models where you want inputs from as many people as possible. So if you can create a public group which will be searchable for people to engage in, you can make this one. But if you want some more specific eligibility for public groups, such as the area of residency or their age criteria, then you can contact us and we will give customized integrations for you. So if you're a public policymaker or a crypto project where you have your holders across the world, then this is the options that you need to take. But if you really want people's opinions in general for social issues and make a social forums about it, then you can make a public open group, which is again free and everyone to enjoy. So when will you be able to start using Defora? Our developers are very busy developing our products so that it will be available as soon as possible on 15th of January next year. We'll be conducting a beta phase where you can sign up through either approaching me or my team today or signing up on our website, defora.io. Based on the feedbacks that we get in the beta phase, we will launch the official app version in March and continuously give more features such as desktop versions and other analytical features. And again, our updates and details would be communicated through our newsletter, which can be seen on this website. So you can put up your name cards on the bowl at the registration desk, and we'll do that for you. Or you can go into our website that our wonderful marketing manager has made and contact us. And we would love to hear your opinion. Or you can see those papers stuck in every wall of this room, and you can scan a QR code in which you will be directed to our survey to give us feedback. And if you do that, then we'll be contacting you back so we can give you points to use when the Defora app actually comes out. And for rest of you, happy holidays. It's a bit early, but who doesn't like holidays? And after holidays, you'll be able to use Defora and hope to see you then. So thank you so much. And are there any questions?